The Israeli Prime Minister vows to carry on a campaign of massive airstrikes targeting Hamas positions in Gaza after a major flare-up in cross-border exchanges, which are now into their second day. In stories that shaped the week, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro claims he put down an attempted coup by opposition leader Juan Guaido, who, along with his U.S. backers, denies plotting a military overthrow. Our guests debate the issue.
Juan Guaido has legitimate power recognized by the international community.
6 million people voted for Nicolas Maduro last May in a free and fair election that I observed. Do you know how many people voted for Juan Guaido? None.
And the U.S. Attorney General is grilled in the Senate over his handling of the Mueller report, but refuses to subject himself to further questions, with Democrats now calling William Barr a coward and mulling contempt charges. Welcome to the Weekly here on RT International, where we bring you the latest headline news and the top stories from the past week. First, Israeli airstrikes on the Gaza Strip have now killed 10 people. That's according to the Palestinian Health Ministry. That says Israel claims 3 of its civilians have died following a massive barrage of rockets fired from Palestinian territory. The sudden spike in violence between the two neighboring states has now entered its second day.
Here you can see the impact of one of the windows from the explosion that took place from outside and the debris that was flown as a result of the explosion.
This morning, I instructed the IDF to continue its intense attacks against terror targets in the Gaza Strip and to expand its presence surrounding the Gaza Strip with armored forces, artillery and troops. We are operating, and we will continue to do so, to restore peace and security to residents in the south of the country.
The IDF also claims a prominent Hamas leader was killed as the result of an airstrike. His car was reportedly hit by a rocket in an attack which also claimed a number of other lives. Amid the sudden escalation in violence between the two states, here's what locals from both sides had to say about the flare-up.
There was a lot of bombing. The neighbors were affected a lot. The street scene was indescribable. People were afraid and terrified and running. And everyone was looking for their children. Nobody was able to see others. And after the first rocket hit, everyone started screaming. Children and adults. When the building collapsed, nobody was able to see one another.
I leave it to those bigger than me, to the generals that know the situation, to do what they know, and all we can do is to cross our fingers and that they will succeed.
We're not calm anymore. We do trust the army. We do hope Benjamin Netanyahu will take care of it, but we are really worried from the rockets.
The bombardment of rockets from the Gaza Strip began on Saturday morning. Several residential areas were hit, mostly in the south of Israel. Multiple sites in Palestine were then targeted in retaliatory strikes. Paul Slayer has more details.
This is the second day that we've witnessed this surge in fighting between Israel and Gaza. Now, so far, 450 rockets have been fired at Israel, of which the Israeli Defense Forces said it intercepted 150. The Israeli Air Force continues to bombard Gaza from the skies. The Israeli army saying that it's hit some 220 targets belonging to Hamas and Islamic Jihad militant groups. Now, the south of Israel is in a state of high alert. People have been ordered to remain near their bomb shelters, and at the same time all schools remain closed. A number of buildings in Gaza have been damaged and destroyed, including the Turkish news agency, which was hit by an Israeli missile. There's a lot of defiance coming out from the Palestinian side. We're hearing from Hamas that they're ready to fight until the last moment. They say that they have extended the range of their rockets. They also say that they haven't even started the real war against Israel. The Israeli army has said that it is preparing for several days like this. this, and as it braces for further escalation, it is sending tank reinforcements to the border. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has ordered the IDF to continue with, to quote, massive attacks. He says that his army will continue to go on the offensive. He says that he will use all the firepower at his disposal, and he's not aware of any kind of ceasefire talks that might be underway.